Meanwhile, the founder and official spokesperson for the Decade of Our Repatriation, an associate professor of the University of Ghana, Institute of African Studies, Ɔbenfo O Bakari Kambon, in a side interview emphasized that the ultimate goal of the town hall meeting is to secure a seat at the table for historic African diasporans as elected or elected by their own constituency. He stressed the need for a robust system, structures, infrastructure, and processes that would enable historic African diasporans to have representation based on a clear mandate rather than being appointed from the outside.
So the end goal is really to get a seat at the table. There's a proverb that says, that is to say, if your hand is inside, they don't eat and leave you out. With all of these challenges around citizenship, repatriation, most of them are coming up because there's not a single historic diasporan who is at the office of, diaspora affairs, at the office of the president. There is not a single historic diasporan at the bureau related to diaspora affairs at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. What this means is that those who are most affected by the policies have absolutely no voice and no representation in these places. So what we actually need are systems, structures, infrastructure, and processes where we actually have representation based on a mandate. This means that the historic diasporans are actually selecting or electing those who are going to speak for them, and they actually have a voice where it comes to government decisions. If decisions are being made and you are not at the table, well, you're going to find all of these types of things that are happening where we had to do a town hall meeting initially to protest the 25,000 CDs and the DNA and all these different requirements. Most recently, as we're aware, Ghana has put forth a resolution at the UN that was accepted. Well, this is reparations on the world stage, the global stage. But that's something that we don't have full control over, you understand? That's something the U.S., Donald Trump, or whoever will say, we don't want to do it. Well, there's nothing that's going to happen, at least in the short term with that. But what we do have full control over is self-reparations. That is to say, when the repair is that we want to come back home, then what things can we do to smooth that process? What can we do to remove the hurdles, remove the challenges? For myself, I have a friend of the family who I've known since I was 3 years old. The husband was able to get citizenship, the wife was not, because who has 50,000 CDs just sitting around? They've had to do a plane ticket, they have their rent, they have all of these different things. People just will look at it like, oh, if you're from the diaspora, you have 100,000 sitting in your pocket or there on your sofa, and it's not like that. These are challenges where even at the citizenship ceremony, it was bittersweet because we knew that out of the 2,000 people who were interested in citizenship, only 150 got citizenship. That's about 7.5. There aren't too many sports around where you can only get 7.5 and you're considered to be doing well. So, again, we appreciate the efforts throughout the years. I got my citizenship under President Mahama. So I am a full Ghanaian citizen since 2016, December 18, 2016. Actually shook hands with President Mahama, and we thought that once President Mahama comes in, it will be very easy, it will be very smooth. But we found that it's actually been the opposite, where it's become much more difficult. There have been much more hurdles. So where on the global stage, there's a lot of talk about repair and restore and justice, right here at home, the people aren't really feeling it, and that's what we want. We want them to actually feel it.